iDiski Times, now available in stores around the country for only R3.50.
iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting. Mamelodi Sundowns 3, TS Galaxy 0. DStv Premiership on a Sunday evening. Joseph Makhanya, Orlando Pirates legend, formerly of Swallows Football Club or Moroka Swallows? Moroka Swallows. The real one. Yeah, man, it was an... Sometimes I'm sympathetic when I'm just trying to be serious now. I'm sympathetic to the plight of the smaller team in a David and Goliath battle. But you guys are a little bit harsh because you want to see something from David. That's why David that time rocked up with a sling. He knew what he couldn't take Goliath fist to fist.
But he had a plan.
Yeah, but wasn't a plan. Your observation about this one?
Yeah, greetings to viewership Ngulego.
Yes, sir.
Hey. Kuba ngathi every week makudlala Sundowns we talking one and the same thing.
Yes, that's a fact.
Yeah, ngoba at the end of the day we talking about a team that's it's imposing itself on other teams, and it looks like a team that's all the time they train this situation. Ngoba they know what to expect from other teams. Ukuthi amanye ama-team azoyenzani ngoba you look at the way ba-structure ama-team wabo from the previous team abebadlala nayo against i-Kaizer Chiefs. They came, the only change that they made, it was Lebusa, so it means it was a continuity.
Yeah.
So makuyi continuity, it means there's an understanding kulama players akhona and nama-roles. Ngoba one thing that they master Sundowns of the ball movement, they master comfortable ballweni, they circulate the ball properly, and they realize ama moments when is it the right moment ukuthi babafake ibhola kuma spaces are right. So it means we're talking about the team ukuthi it's being trained properly in terms of imposing its style of play and making sure ukuthi they get into our opponents and our press setting over. You check it TS Galaxy the way we approach game ngakon. It was a situation ukuthi we need to reduce the deficit ingabi score line esikhulu kakhulu. Akube maybe so 20 break kube 1-0 si chonje, but I always say ukuthi at the end of the day, I mean we sitting on 3 games. Season is saqala. Test your team, train your team properly. Coach, when you've got nothing to lose, yes, Sundowns is expected to win the match maybe. So we expected to now and again impose your style of play, show people that you are training your team properly as well. Because of you look at this, my players are now. You've got Etienne Brooks, you've got Yed Mbonjani, Yed Umachupu, Yed Upohlongo. So it meant Uti Nombata. So you've got those are special players. It's at times. So it means Uti Nabo work on their strengths now ukuthi bakhona ukuzimpose game in ngoba you are also helping them to become better players facing ama situation akanje ngoba a situation ukuthi ufuna ukuafula deficit and hope ngcono kube 4-4-2 4-3 so that players they understand ukuthi what is it that is needed from their side ngoba you check at the first half it was as if we are watching into A1 ngoba it was a training session whereby TS Galaxy whenever they lose the ball they resorted into ukuthi baba reinforce. So Sundowns all the time it became the practice by practice lento le, and we are going from a gym in they practice this kind of situation. It became a practice up until second half what they needed from the way getting matches, especially Kemet Erasmus, because he was peeling off very nice ngoba attention was more focused on Shalulile. So Erasmus, Usirino, as much as you'll assign somebody to mark them, but of now they normally move. So you find at the end of the day, you end up having a team structured whereby everybody is all over. Manji is following Amanyama players, but they are moving. So it became a problem. But second half, one thing that Sundowns did, because of their players also getting tired, chasing somebody for the whole game, you get tired. So one thing second half that Sundowns did, gear up. After we got to Kora, they pushed the gear up, so it meant to Manje. After we got to Kora, because of they scored through a free kick, which is something that shows you they get into this kind of situation. If we can't score open play, set plays ngoba nangoma corners uLebusa uyakora. So they practice the situation ukuthi one way or the other we need to have a plan ukuthi how do we score a goal. Yeah. So they had the plan ulake makalibeka lapha he decided ukuthi I'm going straight for a target and a rebound or finisher off uLebusa. So you check it ama scorers ngoba ama scorers most of the time go Sundowns Shalulile uhlala khona but they are other scorers, so it means everybody who's announced we are scorers. So it means they've got a good team. So you look at the second goal. After Anke to Korea, then you from Lento by Chimil, Matre to Kora already manji mindset you are dead manji. You become tired now. Ngoba manji Lento be besizele. I say come you didn't get. So it means manji. The very same plan enizengayo manje ayisasebenza ngayo ukuthi manje we only trying to reduce the deficit, so it was only a matter of time ukuthi bakora nini. So they scored around 50 something minute. Yeah. Then it meant ukuthi they needed ukuthi babaze ngenye plan right. So as they were trying to push out the moment ye countering the counter, they were pushing abantu andile well from good position ukuthi push abantu forward trying ukuthi bayothola le equalizer, then lost a position straight transition. So that is why we're talking about a team ukuthi it's been trained properly ngoba they realize the moment ukuthi we go straight ngoba as much as they are not a team direct but that moment they realized we needed to go straight. So from Leo loss of possession is exchange of position, moment of transition through Shalulile goal. Then the third one is as well, it was a matter with Machita TS Galaxy Maji. They were tired of Maji. They were chasing the game for the most part of the game.
Last season you and I, we got into it a lot of times about how do you approach this, because it's one way. It's surely there has to be those people are more educated than us. We are young coaches, Tina. With your certificates, Nami, I'm still learning in terms of the coaching. The professional coaches are in a different level. They are more experienced. Surely Nabo, they have this thing of on paper. They could plan around Sundowns, but for the most part, when they try to implement it, it cannot happen, which probably means that it's not easy. So what I'm trying to do sometimes in these conversations is to try and not minimize and make it look like we are bashing those coaches, but also we run the risk of repeating ourselves. Sundowns, because that's the thing, like that's the $1 million question. How do you beat Sundowns? Because surely people don't. The other clubs, the rest of the 15 clubs, don't like the idea of one club winning 4 league titles in a row and bazo winning if no one stops them. So how is it like in your mind when you are mentally thinking about this? Because we are continuously analyzing the same thing now. How do teams? Because yes, you said before they need to impose themselves, but maybe they also know that they need to, but. How do they go about doing that? How do they stop Sundowns?
I mean, firstly, you need every formation in a deficiency. You sit down, you look at the deficiencies. They've got the deficiencies. So as much as they, most of the time, as much as they commit more numbers, now you've got a situation whereby as soon as they commit more numbers, when we win the ball, what is it that we need to do in the ball? So it means you need to be technical. I think most of the time, I feel good in Kaizer Chiefs most of the time, beiba na leo leonto leo guti bangena babe structured and a bit organized and then wait for our moment. So that's the only team would maybe close to beating them because of it means you need to be clinical ngoba yes ngoba mawubheka ama chances ukuthi na last time abadlala against Kaizer Chiefs, how many chances do they create? Because of last time they created 2 chances against Kaizer Chiefs, they scored those 2 chances. So it means ukuthi now as much as you applying Leo format ukuthi we are going to sit and be organized because of I feel ukuthi it's a matter of the other of teams being organized and knowing what to do, especially kuma deficiencies Sundowns. But I feel ukuthi as much as ba commit ama numbers, yes, mabaqeda to lose the ball, they try to counter press. So it means you need to be equally good in terms of your technique, in terms of moving the ball quicker to get into those areas. So it means put your players maybe on kuma position whereby whenever you win the ball, you will be able to find them. So it means lama players from kuma situation whereby Sundowns might get to lose a counter press. So it means from gulama situation, you need to ipola lisuke from lapo li reach kulama areas of attack. So it means it's something that you need to train properly as well. You need to train properly. In terms of equality, you look at Sundowns, how they buy players, how they. So it means other teams, most of the time, they we a bit weakened in terms of equality whenever they go into match. But you look at other teams, the Pirates, the Chiefs, those are the teams that are supposed to be challenging Mamelodi Sundowns. In terms of our resources, they should be able to box clever in Mamelodi Sundowns. But if those teams more than the Sundowns then it's something else. So what I'm trying to say is our coaches, they need, I mean, it's football. There's win, there's lose, there's draw. Yeah. So, but me as a coach, I'll feel bad if near grounding, ngambe nyofika up until the game pele, then from lapong lose still. So it means I'm a player, so I'm not benefiting anything. So I'll rather maybe try my plan out. Let's play out, or try to conjure something up so that we know what is it that we're leaking as a team over. I mean, the game that we just watched, I think it's the fourth game, league. So it means you still have got how many games? 26 games. Yeah. So why Melusa would lose a match? I mean, it's a free hit. Yeah, everybody is expected you're not going to be relegated tomorrow. So try out, so that test your players as well. Test your players, which are they improving? So if you manage to conjure up a plan that's gonna work for your players, then you know, good man, this is how I approach such games. But if you're going to go to our games and all the time when I go we corner we then how do you know what we are improving? How do you know what so and so forth? If football is all about defending and attacking and knowing what me be organized whenever you need a ball, so those are basic stuff. So you need to be able to apply basic now as a team. I'm players now, they need to crowd off a game. But once you resort to an easy route, the easy route is we're going to drop, then from there wait for them, then counter attack. I mean, it becomes of you giving these guys a moment, they practice the whole game up until they get something. Once they get something, then now you are dead. Now they are free to move the ball wherever they want to.
There you go. I suspect that we're gonna have this conversation. It's still the start of the season. My fear is that we're gonna have this conversation more than I would like to have them. It gets boring. I would like to say, and the winners of the DStv Premiership for this season are, and not say Sundowns. I would really like to say someone else, but it looks like we are going down that route again because teams are just sitting back and just accept they're going to lose the game. Like I said, I was really trying hard in my questioning of Joseph Makhanya. Look, I really appreciate that we're not trying to say to the coaches that this is easy, because if it was easy, you were the first people that were going to see it, because Nabo Pro, A-Pro license, Abanye Benu, Bano UEFA, so at least, so they have analysts, they have video analysts as well, so you have all the resources in the world, so we're not trying to minimize your job. We know it's difficult, but please try something. iDiskiTV, iDiski Times, World Sports Betting. Thank you so much for watching us.